recording. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello, I'm Bruce Harris.
Hey, I'm Kasia Gołębiewska.
Hello, I'm Miguel Mora, and welcome to Check's Play.
Let's do it!
Let's do it.
Let's do it!
Doing it again. I'm sweating already. It's hot. Jump back and kiss yourself. 2 times. You know what that is, Casa, when I said that? That's James Brown.
No, not at all.
Jump back, kiss yourself. 2 times. Okay. Hello. Hello. This is a wild bunch I had to work with here. Kasia Gołębiewska.
Yeah.
Kasia G.
Yes.
As she's now known,
G,
and also
but for you, Kasia G, as you still
Kasia
problems.
Gołębiewska. I told you, I have a dialect. That's the way I do it. That's the way we do it. Where I come from. And Miguel Mora. Miguel Mora, what's happening, man? What's going on? What's happening?
So good, man. So far, so good. Hanging in there.
Oh, man.
Enjoying the time, enjoying the weather, enjoying everything. Enjoying life.
Beautiful. Life is good. Life is good. Yes, it is.
As long as you're not under, you're above.
Yes.
So that's
Yes.
any day above ground is a good day.
Any day above ground. And the other day was 420. So, 420, people who were puffing, that's a good day for them, right? And 420, they opened some new dispensaries in New Jersey we heard about.
Big business coming up for New Jersey. Yeah.
Huge.
Did you see the lines on the picture of the article that I sent you?
Unbelievable.
They had lines around the block for to get weed.
The police can smoke weed now.
Yep.
Off duty.
Really?
Yes.
As long as they're not on duty, they can purchase and get high on it. Yes.
Isn't that something?
But also during their work.
No. When they're off work.
Of course.
But it's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's just like alcohol. There have been some police officers drunk on duty. So
excuse me.
Why wouldn't there be a
change?
I'm Officer Harris. We got an ounce and a half. Let me see. I don't want your license and registration. Just give me your ounce and a half. Just give me. That's right. Go on about your business. Go ahead. Stop, or I'll take your weed. That's crazy.
It's amazing. Something that just a few years ago was considered highly illegal. It is now out there for the masses to use. So I consider it it was a good choice to legalize it. You create a black market for somebody, and the revenue is going out there and creates a lot of other businesses. So why shouldn't the state,
the government says shit
and do social programs with that money? So in my mind, it's a good trade-off.
Yeah. Well, look at California. They're taxing the crap out of it. It's actually putting the dispensaries out of business.
Putting them out of business. They have to go outside to sell. They're selling their own weed now on the street illegally, so they could stay in business because the taxes and the regulations are so strong for them.
Yeah, 50% of their retail prices are for taxes. And then Canada, they had like 2,100 licenses that were approved throughout Canada, and now the demand is so high that they can't deliver the supply for the demand. So now they're going out of business there. But I don't think that'll happen here. I think when things happen early, the first early stages, mistakes happen, and then they realize it's similar to the casino business. Look at Atlantic City when they opened up. All the Atlantic City gets less than 2% of the taxes there, basically, and it goes up north. We're not saying that, or any indictment against Atlantic City, but they didn't know. The city fathers didn't know how it was going to go. Nobody knew. It was the first state out of Nevada.
It goes back to the politicians. They get the first crack at everything, and most of the politicians were they in North Jersey? So they figure, send us the money, we'll take care of it, we'll spread it out here, and we'll send you a little bit back. And Atlantic City should have been many years ago another Las Vegas with lights and a lot of things to do, and it just stayed as casinos.
So hopefully,
all the restaurants were out of business around the casinos because they couldn't compete. The city got run down. Now, eventually, they figure it out, but it was kind of late. It was too late.
there was some development, though.
I
Miguel.
wonder.
There was a lot
I
of
wonder-
development.
And now there are some developments coming up, like
No,
in the inlet area.
They have been. They've been developing
been,
the
yes.
inlet, the inlet for many, many years. In fact, my old, she's deceased mother-in-law. They lived in that house since the 1950s, where they lived, and they tore it down and gave them a new, eminent domain. There was a lot of controversy about that, but they've been developing it where people wouldn't go years because it's the inlet. Now those people are fighting to get down there. You know.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful area right now. You know,
I had a home there.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I know. So speaking of Atlantic City, our guest today is she's the corporate communications and public relations director for Spenser's and Spirit, and she's been a public relations and publicist for many years. Her name is Nikki Balles. She's our guest today, and we're going to welcome her, and I'm sure we're going to have a great conversation with her. I am
Definitely.
so excited, and it's Diversity Month, and we're talking about diverse, and we have an awesome team. We have an awesome group, Checks Play Casino podcast, and we're always excited to get together. So let's have some fun today. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's
Let's
do
get
it.
it on.
Nikki
Oh.
Balles is coming.
Nikki.
The real Nikki Balles. She's going to be here in a minute.
Here I am.
Here she is.
Hello,
Hey.
Nikki.
Hey, everybody.
Tell me, that was your
Hey,
Miss
Nikki.
America picture, right? That was
Yeah,
your
how
Miss
did you
America
know?
time?
I won.
It's a beautiful picture. Beautiful picture.
Thank
told
you.
And
One of my
even-
good friends, Bo Ridge, took it.
Even live is even nicer.
It's even better. Yeah.
You're so kind. I'll do this every day.
Yes. Have you met everybody? You know everybody now,
I
right?
have. Yes.
Yeah.
Good to see you both, all three of you.
It's a pleasure.
Thank
Pleasure to have
you.
you with us.
Are you in Atlantic City?
I'm in Egg Harbor Township, right outside of Atlantic
Mm,
City.
mhm.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
Last time I saw you, we were in Florida.
We were in the Sunshine State, living the dream. Literally, we had my husband and I met at the Hard Rock, and we had a baby. Everything was good. We kept working at the Hard Rock, and then we had another baby, and we were like, whoa, we need help. We need more family. Both of us are worker bees. And at the time, my husband was like, well, I'm really hoping to get closer to home. And his home is here in New Jersey. And so basically we just took a leap of faith, and I up and moved with my two small children under 2 and my husband and my dog, and took a job over at the Claridge Hotel on their corporate team, just completely blind. And then Joe Lupo came to Hard Rock Atlantic City and was like, what are you doing? Come over here. And gosh, the stars aligned, and I was so grateful for that. And really, I fell in love with the South Jersey area and being able to make a big impact in this area.
So you're not originally from there.
No, I'm from Maryland, actually. I'm a Maryland girl. So I did go to high school in Toms River for a couple of years, and then went to college in Tampa at the University of South Florida, which is how I ended up in Florida.
Great.
So I'm a bull.
You know what was interesting? When I first learned that you did go to Atlantic City, I said, well, you must be from New Jersey, because the reason why, in my background, I've been fortunate to open up a lot of different casinos in different jurisdictions around the country and outside of the country. And when it came time for recruitment, one of the more challenging things for us was to attract or convince women with unbelievable talent to relocate, and that's, I think it's kind of, in my experience at least, that was very common. I mean, for instance, my sister, she built a house around the corner from my mother. Her kids, her daughters live near her. My daughter lives near her mom, and so forth. So that was something common. So it was like I said, I used the word before, there's no indictment against women and not moving or something. I understand those reasons. But that was interesting. So I says, wow, well, you must be from New Jersey to get back with your family. But now I think you did explain your husband is from New Jersey. So that's pretty awesome. How's it going?
Yeah.
You like New Jersey. Have you had saltwater taffy yet?
I have, but you know what's my favorite?
What?
Hot bagel, pork roll, egg and cheese. Oh my gosh, you haven't lived your best life.
That's
That's like a Jersey thing. I apparently.
no. That's
I never heard of it.
That's a
I've been there
millennial.
for-
That's a millennial
What?
thing. That's a millennial.
Oh my gosh, this
thing.
is going to be a hot debate.
As soon as we turn our back, Miguel, they're gonna create
Yeah, they come up with
shit.
something new.
You know,
I've been in New Jersey since
never heard of such a thing in my
1980.
life.
Pork roll,
Since
egg and
19
cheese.
I never heard of it. No,
You're not
never heard
living
of it.
your life.
White House subs,
Oh,
White
White
House
House
New York,
subs is great.
New York pizza, or
Big subs,
big
big
subs now.
subs.
You just now trump Kasha because Kasha introduces me to some Polish food and stuff. I mean, we have some.
kielbasa.
Oh, not kielbasa. It was some
Pierogi.
stuff that looks like it doesn't have
Pierogi.
flavor.
But I bet it's good. Don't
Yeah,
knock
it's
it
very
until
good.
you
It's
try
very
it.
good.
That's
It's very
my
good. It's
motto.
very good.
Don't knock anything until you try it. That's so funny.
So you're corporate communications and public relations for Spenser's and Spirit.
That's right.
Now, I remember Spenser's when I was very young. Spenser's Gifts was my spot.
Yeah,
That was the place.
they are still the place. It's so funny because when I took the job, I wasn't looking for a job. I was very, very happy with my role at Hard Rock. I had a very comfortable position there and we were in a good groove. And so when I was recruited to go over to Spenser's and Spirit Halloween on their corporate team, I'm like, what? So I do some research. I go on, I'm like, wow, they are so hip and trendy, totally different demographic target demo than the casino world. Couldn't be more opposite. However, I was like, this is really interesting. Let me just talk to them and see what this is about. And so they are an enormous historical retail operation that is tremendously successful for kind of that teenage age, group of boys and girls. And they're continuing to just pivot and cater to that demographic. And if you follow people, this is going to sound silly, but like Kourtney Kardashian, she's very edgy. And like in my mind, she fits that like Spenser's mold. And that's so trendy and cool and edgy. And really same thing with Spirit Halloween. They're making a Spirit Halloween movie. I don't know if you've seen that in the headlines, but it is a big deal. And the plot of the movie is that these kids lock themselves in Spirit Halloween and the animatronics come to life. And there's just so many verticals within Spenser's and Spirit that are wildly successful, but it's a really good kept secret. And I'm excited. I'm on week 2 at the company and I can't wait to tell their story. Their impact on children is unbelievable. They have a spirit of children. They're going to probably reach $100 million this year, donating to kids' hospitals and throwing parties for children to make it less scary in hospitals, which $100 million is insane.
Wow,
Nikki,
that is
like,
something that I wanted to touch with you on that. Most companies now, the casinos do it, and all the big companies they're going into the social aspects of their area where they're at, and even reaching out further, doing things like you just explained. Can you tell us anything that Spenser's is doing for the area? They've been there for many, many years. I remember getting the flyers in the Sunday press and their catalog. Their catalog was this thick, and you will go through it. Now everything is digital. They probably have stuff like that, but on online. But what are they getting involved in the Atlantic City area? What are they doing for the community?
Yeah, it really, truly, Spenser's and Spirit, they're a national company. And when you look at the two different businesses and operations, just remember, I'm still very new with the company, but from what I'm learning and observing is Spenser's in and of itself has a great partnership with ACLU, which is really a very reputable, credible organization for human rights. And last year they did a roundup program during the month of June afternoon that raised over $300,000. So we're not talking like a $10,000 check presentation or, little one-off things here and there. They are making huge impact with credible organizations that they're looking at the overhead, like where's the money going? We want to make sure it's not going to pay salaries, those sorts of things. And same thing with Spirit of Children. Every single dollar goes to these hundreds of hospitals that they partner with. And they started that 501c3 to ensure dollar for dollar goes to those organizations. And when you talk about corporate social responsibility, it's really, really, really important. Not only just from a reputation standpoint, but from an employee standpoint. When your employees see you digging into the ground to give back to the community, whether it's volunteering at the food bank or, recycling things from your employee cafeteria, that makes them want to work for you. So from a recruiting standpoint, a PR standpoint, just a corporate social responsibility standpoint, those things are so important. And with Spirit too, they have a philanthropy arm, Boobies Make Me Smile. I hope I got that right. And it's really cool because they have, I think, 4 different partners within that umbrella. They started that 501c3 and it's giving back to organizations that impact women with cancer and how to deal with that. And so they're doing so much and not a lot of it's being talked about. So that's really what I'm excited about, is to be able to share their story, but also share the importance of community and philanthropy and celebrating those things just across different companies.
That's wonderful. And they're making sure that the dollars go where they're supposed to. That's the most important thing. So
yeah. And when I talk about Hard Rock too, I don't want to not mention them because I spent so much of my career there, almost a decade.
You sure did.
I feel like the Seminole Tribe of Florida and Jim Allen and, the Joe Lupos and John Fontanas of the
Oh my
world,
gosh, they're unbelievable.
Unbelievable people who, when you talk about impact, I was in Tampa and Joe Lupo came to town. When you look at the community, I think it's important to distinguish like what's the need, right? In Tampa, Joe came to town from New Jersey and was like, we need to start a committee and have a really transparent process where people bring ideas to the table and they're heard and we vote on them. And there's just this SOP in place. It's like, the cancer center and the hospitals in Tampa had huge needs. But when you get to Atlantic City, if you just drive into Atlantic City, you're like, wow, this place needs help, from homelessness to recovery.
For years.
Many, for decades.
And I've heard it over and over and over again. It's just, philanthropy. Okay. So when you have a big budget, most people have a budget to give back. So where I'm going with this, what differentiated Hard Rock from the other 8 competitors in the area were the funds that were allocated to community affairs stayed in Atlantic City to help with recovery, to help with homelessness. And that is just from a strategic standpoint, brilliant.
They started now the new pilot program.
That's been a hot topic. That has been a very hot topic. And I worked very closely with Joe Lupo, who is the president of the Casino Association now. And the pilot has been something that has been very difficult for the public to understand. And, from a PR and communication standpoint, my role in that was to support Joe and the other Casino Association members with their PR agency to contribute an op-ed into the press, because the local press unfortunately wasn't covering the full story. So there wasn't clear transparency on the issue. And it was just this constant battle of, we need to share the casino side of the story. And the city public officials want to share their side of the story. That's fine. Everybody can share their side of the story, but it needs something to be reciprocal. And let's get it done. Let's get something done, because at the end of the day, it's a huge economic driver and impact to this area. And it's just important. There's jobs after jobs after jobs that are impacted by this.
Yes. I think I cut Kasha off before, and I apologize because, I have a big mouth sometimes. I apologize, Kasha.
Yeah, I will jump in fact like with another question to you, Nikki, because you have mentioned like about public relations for casinos, and you mentioned like this corporate responsibility where the casino is building also they are helping by this, but also they are building their image out of this. Like what other ways to build the image of the casino you are using? What are the other ideas?
That's a great question. So outside of philanthropy, I think strategic partnerships are important. Specifically to the casinos, we did something with the Rock and his new tequila, and we had this truck outside, his tequila truck outside on the boardwalk, and we tied in philanthropy to that, and we said, we'll buy all the food in this casa truck and donate all of it back to 3 charities. So I think strategic partnerships, community relations, really good social media strategies that listen to the consumer and the customer and what they want to see and hear are important.
Yeah, sometimes like when you do the communication, like for the for different companies, like and public relations, it's like it involves sometimes like very crazy events, to get covers in the press. Like, can you mention like any crazy event that you have organized?
Like a publicity stunt.
Yeah.
Ooh, so we didn't
There's
really
such a thing as a publicity stunt. I thought that was just
I don't know what that is. We really didn't do a whole lot of things that we didn't invite the press to. We would invite in like if we had an entertainer, for example, we might snap a photo of them with their permission, but nobody knows it was with their permission, and send that out to Us Weekly, or like Jay Wow was there all the time because she lived local, and the Jersey Shore cast,
Okay, hold on. Just like the food that you mentioned.
Oh no,
the pork roll or whatever. Who is Jay Wow?
Jay Wow.
Jay Wow. Wait. On the Jersey Shore.
Look at us like we're Casa. Casa doesn't know about casinos. Many times we might explain something to Casa about a casino. So explain certain things to us, Miss Millennials, you guys, you and Casa, to us.
This is Casa's turn to shine.
We're baby boomers, Miguel and I, and so please explain to the baby boomer, Miss J Wow. Is that like?
But not only are we baby boomers, but we've been out of the States. Like in my case, I still have my house in Absecon, and I visit. I'll be there next month. But I left Atlantic City to go out into the world, and still in the casino business back in 2002. So 2002, I came here. Then I went to South America. Then I went to Central America and back to the Caribbean. So we've been away from many things.
This must be Jay-Z's sister, maybe.
Yeah.
So
I didn't know he had a sister from Jersey.
Jay Wow is on the Jersey Shore. It's a trendy MTV show that was trendy.
And I know that. I remember that show.
Yeah, it's an old show. Yeah.
Just to the point of targeting celebrities, like we wouldn't have Jay Wow in I don't know, California property or something, because she's not in that market. So being strategic with celebrities that live near or around you, it's a lot cheaper and easier to bring them in.
Sure.
And get exposure.
In the name that people recognize, that people other than Miguel and I. So
I know that was a bad example. That was a really bad example.
No, but I learned something. I can't wait to tell my friends. I can't wait.
Yeah, we now know who Jay Wow is.
Wow, yeah.
Well, you know who Hulk Hogan is and Ric Flair.
Yes.
They were trying to come out here. Who was out trying to bring him here?
The Love and Life.
Love and Life
John
was trying
Conklin.
to bring
John
him.
Conklin. Love and Life.
He called me one time when I was at Hard Rock. He said, hey, my man. He repeats it like a rapid fire. My man. I got Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair.
He's the
Let me
best.
bring him down there. Let me bring him down. We'll do a big event. We'll do a big show. He doesn't let you breathe.
No, I love that man. And we
Yeah.
also had Slash and Miles Kennedy. I don't know if you remember that, Bruce. In Tampa, we had Slash and Miles Kennedy for an intimate show, and it was like invite only. It was
Yeah,
awesome.
I remember. Yep. Yeah, I was so you're the publicist or the public relations person? Because now, hold on, let me get this right. A publicist manages the image of a client, of like a celebrity, book, film, a public figure. A public relations specialist more manages the a business or organization's image to communicate by way of communication, something like that. Is that?
So I really think from my standpoint, you look at it from a PR agency versus in-house public relations professionals.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I'm the in-house publicist. Okay. But if you have like a public relations specialist for an agency or a public relations supervisor, they're juggling multiple clients. So you have in-house versus agency.
Mm-hmm.
And for myself, I've always been in-house at a corporation.
Mm-hmm.
However, I do consider myself somebody who's had multiple clients because I'm juggling the multiple business verticals, right? Whether it's food and beverage, the spa, the hotel, the casino, which is the bread and butter, and really telling a story for these micro clients within the organization.
So there's a lot of vertical integration in that respect. So just to get this clear, this is Diversity Month.
I do know that.
This is Diversity Month.
And it's Earth Day today.
Earth, I didn't know that.
That's why I have my earthy.
Got the earthy things. Yeah, I got my earthy colors on too.
There you go.
Matches your flowers.
We got nature behind us.
I have Mother Nature with me today.
So when I'm thinking, but it's Diversity Month, and in my research, I did see that there's a critical imbalance of male versus female public relations specialists in the industry. It's I think 69% dominated by females. And I did see why, and I could see why. It's just something that attracts more women than men. Do you see it that way also?
I don't. I really don't. So I actually hired a gentleman who's out of Philadelphia, Justin Burkhardt, to be the PR manager in AC. And I just loved his energy and his calmness. Like his energy, his passion for music sold me.
Okay.
But his energy and demeanor when under pressure.
Calm soul, even keel.
And I will say, most men aren't as ruffled as women because we're passionate. And I could get some, negative comments about that, but that's something that I've always wanted to work on, is to be a little bit more even keeled. There are a lot more women in the PR world. And I think that drives men away because they're like, ooh, this is a woman's job, and it could be that, it could be multiple things, but I don't necessarily agree that it's because women are a certain type of way. I just think it's been an attraction.
No, that's just something that I read. That's what the statistics say.
Right. No, that's what I'm saying.
And if I was a superstar, or something like that, I was, Bruce Harris. I would have a different name. First of all, I would change I would have a stage name.
Bruce Flair. Flair.
Oh, I like that.
No. I don't know about that one. But anyway, I would tend, and I don't want to sound chauvinistic or misogynistic or anything, but I would see a lady would be more detailed to my needs to make sure I look good and stuff like that, where a guy wouldn't necessarily, Bruce, you need to fix, and all that, to be metrosexual and things.
Right.
So that would be a publicist would be a female position in my eyes me as a client. That's what I would prefer. Somebody that can look at. Listen, I remember a girlfriend of mine in the casino while I was in the casino business. In the casino, I'm still. When it came time when I got promoted to be a supervisor and I was wearing suits. When we went to Boyd's Men's Store in Philly on Market Street, between her and the salesman, they dressed me. And I looked good. too.
I think that's a really good point, though. You know, women do tend to have more sense of style. And
Style.
yes, I think
commitment.
that's a very valid point.
Hmm. That's where I was going.
I love it.
Thank you.
You convinced me. I'm
Thank
easily
you.
convinced.
I don't like the Bruce Flair thing, though. No, got to come up with another name.
With a new name on it.
No.
But I do like
Kasha
I
G.
do
I like
like the
Kasha G.
idea of having more men